We are hearing Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we finished 6th chapter, now 7th. Vijnana Yoga, or the principle of transcendental knowledge regarding the graceful personality of the Absolute. Summary. He is the best of the yogins who worships the Supreme Lord with devotional love. A thorough knowledge regarding the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is attainable by him who follows the cult of bhakti with steadfast attachment for him. The knowledge of the impersonal Brahman denies the personality of the Absolute. Brahman, the impersonal aspect of the Absolute, is the ideal of all abstract knowledge born of the negative conception of this phenomenal world. Just like opposite, they are trying to understand. If in this world we see form, so Absolute must be without form. And we see certain qualities, so he must be without qualities. So in this way, they are just negating this material world, and that is their conception of Absolute. This ideology is not therefore nirguna. It does not transcend the three qualities of Maya. It is rather a phase of Sattvika Gyan, transcending the physical and mental knowledge. But Bhakti is nirguna, transcending the three qualities of Maya. The divine form of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, being nirguna, is attainable only by nirguna bhakti. True jnana is the knowledge of his splendor acquired by his devotees before they are attached to him out of love. Vijnana is the knowledge of his graceful personality acquired after the attainment of strong attachment for him. Such a true devotee who is versed in these two principles of Gyan and Vijnana is rare in the field of religion. Celestial enjoyment is easily attainable by virtuous deeds, and Brahma Gyan by empiric knowledge. But pure devotion to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna is far beyond the ken of mundane sense experience. Among the thousands of human beings, hardly one tries to attain perfection in eternal bliss. Among the thousands of human beings who have attained perfect bliss, hardly one knows his beautiful Shyama Sundar form. The Lord then delineates his threefold potencies, viz. His internal, self-conscious, controlling and enlightening potency, known as Yogamaya, to his external, deluding, Mayic potency, the perverted reflection of his internal Chit potency, known as Mahamaya or Apara Prakriti, the mother of this mundane universe. And 3, the marginal Jiva potency lying in between his Chit and Achit potencies, but superior to his Apara Prakriti. Chit means transcendental or conscious, Achit means matter, unconscious, and Apara means inferior potency, Para means superior. So this marginal potency is superior to Apara Prakriti. That is why it is called Paraprakriti. We will hear from Krishna. But Jiva is not same or superior to his internal potency. It is in between. The entire Jiva world comes of this Jiva potency. Born of marginal potency, a Jiva can move either in this world or in the spiritual realm according to his enjoying or serving temperament, which is ingrained in his very nature. The Lord then says that there is nothing equal to him or greater than him, and that nothing can exist independent of him. He is the source and the resting place of all the worlds. The characteristic excellence in everything belongs to him. He transcends all mundane qualities. He is the chief emporium of all eternal qualities. Extremely difficult to surmount is his supernatural Maya, consisting of the three qualities, but those who absolutely surrender themselves to him and him alone can easily cross over this ocean of Maya. The Lord then proceeds to mention that 4 kinds of people, who are all wicked, do not worship him, and that 4 kinds of devotees of the Lord, of whom the Gyanis, or the enlightened, are the best, do worship him. It is the Gyanin who, taking absolute shelter in the Supreme Lord, realizes Vasudeva as the all-pervading Supreme Being. Such a devotee who sees Vasudeva in everything and everything in Vasudeva is indeed a Mahatman and is a very rare Bhakta. When Sakama Bhaktas are free from all stains of desires, they betake themselves to the path of Bhakti and worshipping the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna with pure devotion. But those who are steeped in the gloom of ignorance and are averse to worship the Supreme Lord with pure devotion are deprived of his blessings, and they worship the deities, means demigods, for petty fruits, means small, in return for their worship. But they get their fruits only through his agency, Krishna's agency, as the deities, demigods, have no power to confer any boon unless they are empowered by him. The worshippers of the minor gods go to them, while those who worship the Lord go to him. The former do not know that the Supreme Lord cannot be understood by the limited human understanding, as the beings are always veiled by his Yoga Maya. Then fallen souls regard him at first as something unmanifest or impersonal Brahman, and later made manifest for the benefit of the sadhakas. The Lord retains his beautiful Shyamasundar form intact, even when he descends on the mundane plane. Those who are released from the mundane opposites and whose sins are destroyed by the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga can realize him as the eternal, beautiful Shyamasundar, ever existing in the blissful realm at the time of their departure from this world. So those who are Mayavadis, they think like this, that ultimate reality is impersonal Brahman, but it becomes manifest in this world for the sake of sadhakas, who cannot meditate on that impersonal Brahman. He takes some sattvic material form so that they can worship. That is their idea, but that is wrong idea. When Supreme Lord comes to this world, he comes by his own energy and he is transcendental, and Brahman is only one his aspect, his light coming out from him. Brahman is not ultimate reality, supreme reality. Krishna is, and when he descends, he comes in his spiritual form. But they are not able to understand this due to lack of devotion. If by the grace of devotees they can surrender to Krishna, then they can realize. First verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvach. Maya Sakta Manah Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayaha Asamshayam Samagramam Yathagyasya Tachrino. The Supreme Lord said, "Listen, O Partha, how I might be fully known with the mind steadfastly attached to me, engaged in Vijnana Yoga and enshrined in me." Explanation. In the first 6 chapters, I have dealt with Jnana and Yoga, the paths of liberation depending upon Nishkama Karma Yoga, which purifies the heart. In the second 6 chapters, I shall deal with Bhakti Yoga. A thorough knowledge regarding me is attainable by those who follow the cult of Bhakti with steadfast attachment for me. The knowledge of impersonal Brahman is not complete in itself, as it denies the personality of the Absolute. Brahman is my impersonal aspect, the ideal of all abstract knowledge, born of the negative conception of this phenomenal world. This ideology is not nirguna because it does not transcend the mic qualities of sattva, rajas and tamas. It is rather a phase of sattvika jnana, transcending physical and mental knowledge. Bhakti is nirguna, that is to say, purely transcendental. My divine form, too, is nirguna and is visualized by the nirguna or transcendental eyes opened by nirguna bhakti. Just as sugar candy is tasted by tongue only and not by eyes or ears, so Parabrahman Shri Krishna is to be realized by the only process of bhakti, the eternal function of all jivas, and not by any other principle, either of Gyan or of Karma. However sattvic it may be. The sugar candy of Krishna Nam, Krishna Roop, and Krishna Gun finds no flavor in a tongue embittered by the bile of nescience or ignorance. So long as there is bile of karma, jnana, tapas, yoga, etc. in the spiritual system, the natural flavor of the holy name, form, attributes, and the sportings of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna finds no relish. This example is given by Srila Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita, where it is stated that Krishna Nam Rup Gun Lila is sweet as a sugar candy, but we are not tasting it because of this nescience. Being averse to Krishna, so we are inclined for all these other things, so we cannot relish. Like one who has jaundice, biliousness, or in Sanskrit means pitta dosha is there because liver is attacked. I once got in Mayapur jaundice. Then your liver is not working and that bile is all over your body. That is why your skin is yellow, eyes are yellow, everything is yellow. That bilirubin, if you go to doctor, they will check how high is your bilirubin in the blood. That bile. So if that bile is everywhere, then on the tongue, then you cannot taste the actual taste of a thing. Like that, only through devotion can one realize and taste Krishna. So long as there is bile of karma jnana this, then you cannot. We hear that verse, Anya bilasita shunyam jnana karma di anavritam. It should not be covered by karma and jnana and yoga and other desires. That type of devotion is pure devotion. Anukulena Krishna Nushilanam. Favorable to satisfy Krishna. That is devotion. And we also sing that song. Guru Deve Braja Bone Braja Bhumi Basi Jane Shuddha Bhakte Arbi Pragone. That song. Then in that song it comes Jnana Karma Tapa Yoga Sakaleito Karma Bhogo Karma Chara Ite Nahi Pare Karma Charite Nare. Then Sakala Chariya Bhai Shraddha Devir Guno Gai. Sakala Chariya Shraddha Devir Guno Gai. Bhakti Dite Pare, something in that song. Sakala Chariya Bhai. Jar Kripa Bhakti Dite Pare. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there, oh my mind, you give up all this, karma, gyan, yoga, tapa, everything you give up, and you sing the glories of Shraddha Devi. Qualities of Shraddha Devi. Shraddha Devi means by serving Krishna you serve all. And by the grace of her, you will get devotion to Krishna. And these all other processes cannot actually rescue you from bondage of karma. Here in this chapter also Krishna will say, no one can surmount unless he surrenders to Krishna. Jar kripa bhakti dite pare. Very beautiful song one Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote. We are singing sometimes. Jnanam teham sabhijnanam idam bhakshyam yasheshataha yajgyatvaneha bhuyonyach gyatavyam avashishyate. I shall tell you the principle of transcendental knowledge regarding my graceful personality in details, knowing which nothing more in this world will remain to be known by you. Explanation. Gyan is the knowledge of my splendor acquired by my devotees before they are steadfastly attached to me out of love. Vijnana is the knowledge of my graceful personality acquired after the attainment of strong attachment for me. Versed in these two principles of Gyan and Vijnana, nothing will remain to be known in this world by you. In other words, the cup of your knowledge regarding me and my entourage will be filled to the brim. To the brim. Nothing more is there, because everything is Krishna. Once you realize Him, you realize everything. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvataha. Among the thousands of human beings, one tries to attain perfection in eternal bliss. Among the thousands of human beings who have attained the perfect bliss, hardly one knows me in my prime essence. Our Gurudev used to repeat this: if you want quality in this world, you will have to sacrifice quantity. If you want quantity, you will have to sacrifice quality. Both you cannot have in this world. Explanation. The higher the class, the less the students there. Explanation. The Jnanins and Yogins narrated in the previous 6 chapters can easily attain Brahma Gyan, abstract knowledge of Brahman, by their empiric trend of thought, but the transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, which is quite different from empiric knowledge, is simply beyond the jurisdiction of their mundane sense experience. Among the sentients, those who feel, human beings are limited in number. You know, 84 lakhs means 8,400,000 different species of life, of which human beings are only 4 lakhs. 400,000 is a very small number in comparison with others and altogether. Among the thousands of human beings, hardly one tries to attain perfection in eternal bliss. Among the thousands of human beings who have attained the perfect bliss, hardly one knows me in my prime essence. That is to say, hardly acquires transcendental knowledge regarding my two-armed, all beautiful Shama Sundar form. Bhumir apo nalo vayuh Kammano buddhir evacha ahankara iti yame bhina prakritir ashtadha. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and perverted ego. These are the 8 components belonging to my external mic potency. Explanation. A true knowledge of the real form of the Blessed Lord and His lordliness is known as the transcendental knowledge of the Absolute, and it is this: I am the eternal self-effulgent Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, endowed with 3 potencies. Brahman is my external self-effulgent impersonal aspect, void of any attributes, it has no real form and is the negative conception of this phenomenal world. In other words, the conception of Brahman is supermundane and is indirectly related to this relative world. Paramatman is my partial, immanent aspect pervading the phenomenal world. He is the all-pervading abider of the universe. My external Maic potency, which is the perverted reflection of my internal, self-conscious, enlightening potency, Yogamaya, is known as Mahamaya, the mother of this mundane universe. She is also known as my Aparashakti, that is to say, external cosmic potency in relation to this manifested world, and consists of 8 components, viz. Earth, water, fire, air, and ether, the 5 gross elements, and mind, intelligence, and ego, the 3 subtle elements. The 5 gross elements have 5-fold properties, viz. Smell, taste, color, touch, and sound respectively. Sound is in ether, touch is in air, color in fire, taste in water, and smell in earth. All are in earth, together also combined. From my Apara Prakriti or Mahamaya ensues the causal principle of Mahat, identical with Buddhi. From Mahat evolves the principle of ego, Ahankar, and the 10 operative senses as effects. 10 indriyas, 10 senses, 5 working and 5 knowledge acquiring. This will come later, I think. The principles of buddhi means intelligence and manas or mind, having separate functions of their own, are merged into one subtle principle, viz. Antahkarana. These 8 components are the offshoots of my Apara Prakriti, external deluding Maic potency. Antahkarana, that internal thing. When Gurudev would quote Jiva Goswami, that first one should hear pure Harinam from lotus mouth of bona fide pure devotee, Guru. And when he will chant that name and avoiding offenses, then his antahkarana will be purified. In that verse it is there. Antahkarana shuddhi. Then when your heart will be sanctified, then you will realize the transcendental nature of the name, and then also the transcendental form will automatically manifest. No need to artificially meditate or to imagine or anything. No. You just have to chant Harinam without offenses, then all will be revealed in your purified heart. Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila also, and yourself also, your eternal real self in relation to Krishna in Lila, that will also be revealed by Harinam, pure Harinam. No need to imagine or artificially. It is all included. It is contained in Harinam, everything. because Harinam is not different from Krishna. So this Antahkarana, mind and intelligence and ego, they will be purified. Then Chetodarpana Marjanam, that thing also said. Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. O mighty armed, this is my apara prakriti, external mic potency, or it means inferior potency. No, I have another potency known as Jiva potency, superior to my Apara Prakriti. That is why it is called Para Prakriti. It is a potency that can take the initiative of infusing the spirit of cognizance into this material world. Jivas, being conscious being, they are animating this world. Without consciousness being present, nothing can move, or no one can be conscious of that matter or something. But of course, jivas are not independent conscious. That Paramatma is also there. So, but jivas as conscious beings are of superior quality than this mic energy. But if they are averse to Krishna, then this Maya is more powerful. It envelops them by the will of Krishna. Explanation: O mighty armed, besides this Apara Prakriti, I have another potency known as Jiva potency, which is Para, or superior to my Apara Prakriti. It is also called Tatashta, or marginal potency, as it lies in between my Chit and Achit potencies. This intermediate potency is essentially spiritual in nature. It is a potency that can take the initiative of infusing the spirit of cognizance into this material world by the sense perception. Matter cannot decide anything. Jiva has free will, can decide, and can move and can feel. Thinking, feeling, willing are the qualities of Atma, not of matter, material body or mind. Only when Atma is present, then this works. When someone, your Gurudev said, when, like, for example, your teacher of mathematics dies, then you cannot get any knowledge of mathematics from that dead body. Atma left. And if you bring one serious patient to vote booth, his voice will be counted, means his decision, because he can decide still. His body is almost dead, but still he can decide. But if you bring dead body, then dead body cannot vote for anyone, cannot decide which one to vote and which one not to. So these are the qualities of soul, and soul infuses that animation to dead matter. We are hearing this during Kartik Vrata in that first verse of Gajendra Moksha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tasmai Yatayeta Chidatmakam Purushaya Divijaya Pareshaya Vidhimahi. He imparts everything. There Gurudev explains, if someone has eyes or ears, But if he's hearing some class in the school and teacher is speaking, your ear is working, but if your mind is somewhere else, then you will not catch. So mind has to be present. And intelligence, and like this goes back. And if Atma is absent, then nothing will work. And if Paramatma is not present, is not there, then also Jiva cannot do anything independently. So Supreme Lord is the Supreme One who is infusing energy into everything. But here it is meant that is insentient, Maya, and Jivas are sentient, conscious beings, so they infuse that cognizance. The entire Jiva world, Jiva Loka, or Tatashta Loka, the entire Jiva world comes of this Jiva potency. Born of Tatashta Jiva potency, a Jiva can move either in the spiritual world manifested from my Chit potency or in the 14 worlds, Brahmanda, that have emanated from my Achit potency, Apara Prakriti, according to his serving or enjoying proclivity, which is ingrained in his very essence. Both potentials we have there. Or Srila Sridhar Maharaj said, two kinds of adaptability or adaptability. We can adapt to that side or this side. We have this. So in marginal plane, Srila Prabhupada explained in his book Brahman and Vaishnava, at that time both are there, but both are dormant. That serving spirit or enjoying spirit. So then, according to Jiva's use of his relative independence, he will activate one or another according to what he wants. But both are ingrained in Jiva, both possibilities. Like there are some animals who can only eat vegetables. If you give them meat, they cannot survive. And there are some who are only capable of eating meat. If you give something else, they cannot survive. And human being can survive both with vegetables or with meat, both. But eating meat is not good for human. It will keep his consciousness low. That is, maybe you will get some health benefits, but also that is not correct. Some are saying this is not correct. But I mean to say, they can survive on both. Like that, Jiva can go there or here. But Sarup Shakti, living entities, they can never come under the influence of Maya. They may appear in this world by the will of Krishna, but they are not under Maya. We can be under the influence of Mahamaya, or we can also be under the influence of Yogamaya. Etat yonini bhutani sarvaniti upadharaya aham kritsnasya jagataha prabhavah pralayastata. Both the sentient and insentient worlds emanate from these two potencies, this marginal Jiva potency and external Achit potency, Apara, my Prakriti, respectively. But I am the cause of all causes. I am the prime cause of creation, sustenance, and destruction of this world. They are both my potency. That is why Gurudev was always saying, nothing is our own. Everything belongs to Krishna, giving evidence of this Gita verse. That is my inferior potency, and Jiva Bhutas are also my potency. So nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to Krishna. So naturally it is, everything should be utilized for his service. Gurudev said we have got no hold over this body. It is not our own. Or mind, intelligence, it is not our own. Even we ourselves are not our own. We cannot claim independence. To think that I am independent, that is greatest enemy. I belong to Krishna. I am not my own. And naturally is to serve Krishna. That will be of my best interest. That will be in my best interest. Like hand, when serving the stomach, it is in her interest, because stomach will distribute food appropriately, properly to all our body, so hand will also be benefited. But if hand wants to enjoy directly food, she will not be benefited, she will be harmed. Like that, we are harmed if we are not serving Krishna. That is not good for us. Matah parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutreman gana iva. O Dhananjaya, I am the all-pervading, omnipotent Supreme Lord. There is none equal to me or greater than I. Nothing can exist independent of me. All the universe exists in and through me, like a cluster of gems strung on a thread. So because he is Matah Parataram Nanya, nothing is superior to me or equal. So he is the only way to attain him. Without his will, no one can attain him. If someone could, then he would lose his supreme position. So to attain him, there is only one way, to submit to his will. That is devotion. Then if you realize him by his will, then he is not losing his position. He's never losing his position, but we are deprived of his connection to him if we ignore his will, if we don't submit to his will, so we will be in Maya all the time. Bhakti means working according to his will. And nothing is existing independently of him. He's controlling everything. He's seeing also everything. There is no place where Krishna is not there. So you cannot cheat him. He's the witness. But he's a friend. He's our well-wisher. Nowadays, they are trying very hard to see what people are doing. They want to observe everything, but with some selfish purpose. But Krishna is not like that, so we should not be afraid of him. that he knows everything and he sees it, because he is friend, he is our well-wisher, but we are unable to realize as long as we have anarthas. Then we think, why like this, why like this? But when we remove our anarthas, then we can see that actually for our eternal welfare he's trying. He's always trying for our eternal welfare. Rasoham apsu kaunteya prabhasmi shashi suryayoh pranavah sarva vedeshu shabdah ke paurusham nrishu. O son of Kunti, I am the rasa, that is to say, the taste in water, the light in the sun, as well as in the moon, the pranava or om in the Vedas, the sound in the ether, and the virility in mankind. Punyogandah prithivyam cha tejas tejaschasmi vibhavaso jivanam sarva bhuteshu tapaschasmi tapasvishu. I am the sanctified smell in earth, the heat in the sun, the life, prana, in the animals, and the austerity of the ascetics. Bijamam sarva bhutanam vidiparta sanatanam buddhir buddhi matam asmi tejas tejasvinam aham. O Partha, I am the eternal seed of all elements, the intelligence of the intelligentsia, and the prowess of the powerful. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. O Bharatarshabha, I am the strength of the strong, without passion and breath. I am the eros, kama, in the animals, not opposed to sacrament or shastric injunctions. Animals, here translated. Generally we heard that kama, which is according to shastric injunctions, like the marriage for according to Varna Ashram Dharma, that is Krishna there. Here it is mentioned in the animals. I don't know. I am the eros, kama, in the animals, not opposed to sacrament of shastric injunctions. So anything which goes against shastra's injunction, that is harmful, kama. But what is in accordance with shastra, that is not harmful. That will uplift you. That is Krishna. So all good in everything, that is Krishna. Ye cheva sattvika bhava rajasasta masaschaye mata eveti tanvidhi na tvaham te shute mai. Natvaham te shute mai. All sattvic, rajas, and tamas manifestations in the world are from me. That is to say, the results of the qualities and actions of my Maik potency. I am not in them, though they are in me. I am quite independent of them. As they come of my Mayic potency, they are under my control. And here is the gist of explanation of these 6 verses. In short, Krishna is Nirguna, that is to say, transcends all mundane qualities and is the chief emporium of all eternal qualities. This one verse I will read. Tribir guna mayair bhavair ebih sarvam idam jagat mohitam na bijanati mam ebyah param avyayam. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are the 3 qualities of my Apara Prakriti or Maya, with which the whole world has been deluded. Thus illusioned, people do not know me, the Supreme Lord, unchangeable and independent of those attributes. Tomorrow we will hear this next verse, and there is some explanation, so that we'll hear tomorrow.